Today we are looking at this LED light, Neewer CN-160. The problem with this thing, it uses AA batteries for power. You can buy a battery that you can plug into here, but that is really expensive. Or you could buy an adapter, which is $18. Or we could improvise and create our own adapter. So, got these at the thrift store. I think this should help the lighting because right now the exposure for this camera app is not the best. And if we switch to the built-in camera app for my phone, this is what the LG G8 camera likes to record at. Very, very dim. Now, obviously, you can boost the exposure up, but yeah, it's not the best. I don't even know if you can do it straight from the normal app. And I can't have newer apps on there. There's some better apps out there, but my phone is a little bit old. It's only got Android 12 or something. So hopefully this light will be better for this camera and we will have better exposure. And this is a better exposure, but even if they're cranked up, sometimes it gets really, really, really bright, like especially if I have my hands in here. So yeah, so not the best, but let's take a look at this a little bit further. Now, I was really confused at first because if we grab some high quality AA batteries, it's a shame and a crime that these are $3 at the Dollar Tree. Well, we get like, what, 8 in a pack? But one thing I was really confused about, and it took me a long time to figure out, how on earth do you get the batteries in here? There is absolutely no way to get them in here. Now, genius that I am, I didn't realize, oh, there's a clip here. I thought there was something that you put over here, and that was the battery compartment. But guess what? Yeah. So, oops. And this does take, what, 6 AA batteries, something like that. And actually, it took, 6. Wait, 4, 5, yeah, 6. Using all my brain power to count how many batteries. And yeah, I mean, that works, but $3 per pack, and you know, that's quite a bit of money. And we can turn this on, actually. Extremely bright, actually. Which is great, but if we look here, you know, I got this test button. 3 batteries already in there, and we only have 3 bars. Oh, see, like, and if we put it up here, like, we do have some stuff, but I mean, if you want to leave it here, sure, you get full charge, but you know, that's not as bright as it could be. So that is one of the reasons why we're going to try this attempt. Now, how are we going to power this from a wall socket? I found a few things out. Some people will take, this is a 12 volt, 1.5 amp power supply, cut the end off and just plug it straight into the battery terminals here. Not the AA terminals, but this rechargeable battery slot, which is not the best way, I guess. Or so I've been told, which makes a lot of sense. You can run it off that, but it will damage the batteries because we actually need 7.4 because the lithium ion battery that these come with, or actually not come with, you can buy them, is actually 3.6 times 2 because it's a lithium ion battery, and I guess the cells, there's 2 cells usually, and they go, you know, plus here for that and there. So we go plus here, minus here. Set your pluses and negative. Now in series, your plus goes to the negative, and this goes to this negative, and then this all goes somewhere over here. And this would be a higher voltage, because if it was in parallel, we would have only a 3.6 volt at a higher capacity. So we need 7.4 volts, not 12, because if we put 12 volts into this LED light, it will damage the LEDs. So how do we go from 12 volts down to 7.4? And that is a good question. That was a horrible question mark. Looks like a 2, but that's okay. What we need is one of these. Now, I have never messed with any of these before, and I am not a professional nor an expert, so take this video as more entertainment value than educational. But we have a step-down converter or voltage regulator, which we can actually plug in 12 volts into here. This is in here, and it will output whatever we want. And there's a little tiny potentiometer, which will adjust the voltage. So we have that, and then we will just take one of our 12 volts and plug it in there. So we'll solder that up, and then what we'll do is we'll solder the wire into here. So We have our power supply. We have our light. We're also going to need some wire. This is just some Ethernet cable that I just cut off and should be adequate. We don't want to go too thin on the wire because voltage needs a bigger wire to go through. I bought some wires, connecting wires, some male and female wires, and they're called JST wires or connectors. Unfortunately, I grabbed the wrong kind. These are micro for like RC cars. So we're just going to have to go the old school way and just solder wires directly to the points, which is okay. And then we will take this and just like, I don't know, pop it down in here, hopefully. So we've got our main LED here. I've got 2 of these. This one didn't have that bottom adapter. And it just unscrews here. This pops off. And then we have some screws that hold here and here and here. And then we can just flip this out. And I think this was here, but I can't remember. So I just put it back there. And it just comes out here. And then we have our circuitry board down here at the bottom. Got that adapter or the selector knob, and we have points here. We got positive here and negative here, so we already know where we need to solder on. We can solder a wire from here and here. Could solder from the board, but I think we'll probably do it from here to here, I think. Is that smart? I really don't know. I'm just now learning electronics and how this all works. And I know some things, I don't know some other things. So we're learning as we go and we're just trying to do things kind of on the fly. So what we're going to do is we're going to prep this wire real quick. And these are just all twisted up wires. Hopefully these are okay to use. You know what? These might be a little bit too thin. I don't know. Might have to look that up. I know that you're supposed to use thicker wire for voltages. I'll have to look this up before I go any further, just to make sure we're safe, because I am not really sure. Well, I did my research, and I guess these wires are only rated for half an amp to an amp, and anything higher than that is not going to be a good idea, so I'm going to have to source some wires, unfortunately. Maybe I'll have to buy the right kind of size of JST connector wire thing, so oh well. Maybe I can go over to Walmart and find something. Who knows? Got a momentary pause to find wire, apparently. All right, I went to Walmart and I found something. I don't know if it'll work. They had a couple of different options. One was some automotive wiring. I don't think it would have worked. It was just a little weird. Like it had nylon. I think it had nylon sheathing or something. Maybe it was the right stuff to get. I don't know, but it was also $8. So I was looking in the clearance aisle and I found this. So an 8-foot lamp cord, placement lamp cord. I don't know if this stuff's going to be too thick, but it is rated for like up to 300 watts. So it'll be hefty enough for 12 volts, 1.5 amp. So way more than I need probably. This is probably not going to work, but hey, we'll try it anyways. What do you guys think? Is that a little too thick? It might work. It might. This is like... possibly. All right, well, we'll set this off the side. We're going to try it later. So we got our voltage regulator. Now we need to figure out what is positive and what is negative on this. Now, if we look at here, there is markings on this wire here, but we are not 100% sure what the marking is. And I know we shouldn't just assume. So we're going to see if we can figure out what is positive on this. Now, if we look at here, one thing that I had not known for a little while was that on these power supplies, they have polarity. So this one is center pin positive. So right in the center here, right in this hole here, that is positive. See those two little metal pieces? That's positive right there. Now this barrel connector here is going to be negative. So we know that much. We don't know which one goes here to here. So I've learned a trick and I've had to relearn it recently. So we're going to find out what is positive, what is negative with a multimeter. We're going to set Steven up and we're going to find out what is negative, what is positive. All right, so now what we need to do is cut this end of this wire off, like so. Obviously, this power supply is not plugged in at the moment. Now we need to separate these wires and then make sure we have enough area, and then let's go ahead and strip these. Is that enough? So now we do not want these to touch. So I'm giving myself a lot of room here because we do not need to electrocute ourselves today. That would not be good. Okay. Now I'm going to take this and plug this in Again, we do not want these to touch because that would spark and do all sorts of nastiness. So, and we're going to also set off Steven up. Okay, Steven cam is up and running. So now we're going to plug this in. Now we have live wires. Okay, so we got to be very careful with this. We're going to take our negative lead here and we're going to hit this here. Okay, and now we're going to take our positive lead and touch the other side. And we've got 12 volts. Now, we do not have negative, so that's good. So this wire that has lines is positive. And we can tell that it's positive because we're getting a positive number over there. Ooh, that was flew out of my hand a little bit. Now, if we reverse this and have this one connected here, there we go. Now, as you can see, we have this reverse, so we're getting a negative number because it's showing that it's crossed. If I've done this correctly, that is right. We got the right polarization. So we need to unplug this now. Now that we know that, what we can do is we're going to take our voltage regulator and we're going to try to solder these wires. We have input voltage coming from the wall into the voltage regulator. So we're going to need to solder this up here in the right orientation. So that, because we know this is positive, this has to go on the positive side here. And we'll just do that or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out. And that should be fine like that. Bend it over. And then this one has to go over here, and we just solder this one to here. And then what we're going to have to do once we get this all soldered up is then we're going to have to test out and adjust the potentiometer here so that we have 7.4 volts coming out. Then we can figure out how to solder some wires from this board to the LED lamp. I'm going to go ahead and switch out to the microscope, and we're going to go ahead and solder these leads up and go from there. And let's go ahead and add some flux to this voltage regulator. Technically, we didn't need to do this because these are through hole mountable component-y areas, and could have just stuck some wire in there. But that's okay. Still learning that as we go. We just need to tin these pads up and make sure that there's plenty of solder, plenty of flux. We also need to tin the wires. Make sure that these are good and tinned. Help it stick. We'll do both wires. Then we'll go ahead and try soldering this up. Now, I had a lot of issue with this. Probably should have been using a PCB holder or something. I was getting too close to these capacitors as well. So I definitely need to improve, which hopefully I will. And then we need to, I was kind of a little bit overthinking things on this joint. I probably would have been fine just leaving it as it is, but you know, reflow it a few thousand times just to get it right, and hopefully it is right. And then we got to switch over to this other side and get that one soldered in. And there we go. After a few thousand attempts, it is done. And there we go. We are good to go. Let's go back to the bench. It's a little wonky, but that's okay, I guess. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And while I was going to get some SD cards for my microscope, I fell off my bike. So that's fun. I'm fine, but you know, oof. Anyways, let's move on. We need to plug this in and see if it explodes. Positive to positive, negative to negative. And we're getting about 11.63. Now we need to figure out which way is going to turn this voltage lower. Why isn't this going lower? Is this broken? What is going on here? That's not doing anything. Why isn't that doing anything? Huh. This thing's got to be broken. Yeah, that has not changed at all. The multimeter has not changed. Weird. Maybe this is defective. It seems to me when I got these voltage regulators, one of these packages might have been already opened. So maybe there was damage or something. Or maybe there was a break in the solder joint, maybe? Maybe I heated up the, maybe I burnt this capacitor or something. I don't know. Maybe I damaged it somehow. All right, well, let's go ahead and redo this, but this time we'll use this one, and this one is 100%. You know what? Let me try this. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to just go ahead and do this a little bit differently. We're going to snip this off, and this is obviously unplugged. Okay, we're going to leave this off to the side. Let's just see what happens if we strip this. This is just an experiment. We're just gonna plug this in loose. This might not work, but we're trying it. Red light, same thing like last time. And we should have 11 some odd volts. Yep. So now what happens if we turn this potentiometer? Absolutely nothing. Oh wait, it's going down a little bit. Aha! So maybe what we were doing is we just didn't have enough, you didn't unscrew it enough. Weird. Okay, well, let's go ahead and unplug this and we'll go ahead and try this again. Maybe what we'll do this time is just solder them like this. Well, now we know that this is working, so I had an idea. Instead of using this wire, which is going to be way too thick, why don't we just take one of our spare power supplies, which I have a plethora, take the wires like this and just connect them over here. So let me go and grab one. And just got this other 12 volt, 1 amp power supply. This is pretty cheap anyways. Didn't even have any locking circles in this area. Asian Power Devices. I am absolutely crazy. I did not need to know the polarity of this new plug because we were just using the wires. So yeah. Cool. Also, I have a question. So if I was to take my hand, this is obviously unplugged now, but if I was to take my hand and do this, and then I was to do this, would that be a circuit, or would that be okay to do that? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Like, would this be bzzz, or or should I know probably should have some like alligator clip thing, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and move out to the microscope, to the garage, solder this all up. Voltage regulator soldering, take 2. Let's go ahead and just do some through hole soldering this time with some flux. Tack it down with some solder. Be a perfectionist and hit it up 100 times. Then do the other side. Touch it up again because, And there we go. That worked out a lot better this time, coming from this side here. So, and we'll get some readings off the multimeter. 9.58. A little bit of a moving there, but that's okay. I think we go counterclockwise. Yes. So we're getting a little bit of a drop there. So we're at 9.4, 9.3. We need this to go down to 7.4. It's like filling up a gas. I don't know what I'm saying. It's like filling up a car with gas. That's what I was trying to say. Sometimes my brain has things it wants to say, but it doesn't quite come off. That's good. I don't know. It's still happening. I don't know. Maybe my brain's asleep or something. Just a teeny little bit further. Just like pumping gas into a car. Good enough. 7.42. I don't know if that really matters. Should we go a little bit under? This multimeter might not be the most, accurate. We will take that. It's doing a little dancing, but we'll take that. Awesome. Okay, we'll disconnect that. Let's go and unplug it, and we should be good to go. And I will figure out where the wire should go from the voltage regulator to the LED lamp. Oh, you know what's interesting? I'm actually looking at this Asian power supply one. This is the one we cut the ends off. It doesn't have these holes in the prongs, but this one is an exact replica, a duplicate, and it actually has the holes. So I guess this one's a factory defect or something. I don't know. It's a little bit different. Maybe one's bootleg. I have no idea. There we go. And now we have wire, which we can use. I think we can just solder to these points here. I think that makes sense. All right, and here we go. We're going to go and tack these wires up to these other wires. And unfortunately, I had a lot of problems with this. I was having some issues with the wires just decoupling here. But we eventually got it soldered up, so that's good. And then the positive and then the negative. I was using a J-hook soldering tip, and it worked out pretty good, I thought. I thought it was okay. Also soldered this wire to the bottom, but it worked out okay. Alrighty. We have these things coming out through here. Then we'll screw that together. Take our voltage regulator, solder that up, and we'll have to test to make sure we got light. Alright, let's get this wire tinned up. Let's go ahead and get it attached to the voltage regulator. We're going to go ahead and do the other one. And we are good. Hopefully this is soldered on right and everything is good. We'll have to figure out the placement in a second. Let's go ahead and plug it in and see if the thing catches fire. Red LED. We're going to check the voltages and make sure that the potentiometer did not get bumped. And do we have 7.4 on the Steven cam. Very good. I'm also curious, are we getting any feedback into these contacts? Nope. Sure that's not possible, but hey, it just came to my mind. And we're just going to use some electronic duct tape, hot glue. Put some glue here in this corner, and a little bit there. If that doesn't scream quality, I don't know what does. All right, how's that looking so far, guys? It's okay, I think, in my opinion. Can we still put a battery? I don't know. Can we fit a battery in there? Or, no. Well, I mean, it would be really janky. All right, well. Let's see. Will this work? It's got lightning. It's got energy. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. There we go. It is working. I think I probably should have drilled a hole to get these wires in there, but that's okay. We'll just deal with it. So just for reference, compare this one. Yeah, that's a lot brighter. This is the second one. And I had a catastrophic issue with this one. I switched the polarity by accident when I hooked it up to the voltage regulator. So now we get to find out, was there enough over voltage protection for 7.4 volts, or is this light cooked? Okay, will the light work, or is it dead? Oh, it's working. It's not dead. We didn't kill it. Okay, cool. Well, both of these lights are working now. Yay! Alright, so this one had its mounting adapter. It's not the best. It's kind of wibbly and wobbly and junk, but that's okay. It should work okay. So now the question was going to be, how are we going to address this other one? I got this little adapter here. This is probably not going to work, but we'll give it a shot anyways. And I drilled a hole, and bam! So what we're gonna do is take some hot glue and go wee. Yeah, there we go. All right, now this will solidify and we will have adequate lighting, hopefully. Right now, the only lighting I've got going on is the bedroom ceiling fan. So here's the one on the left. Secondary light. And a DS board over here. And there we go. That one's gonna fall over a lot. I wasn't really happy with how the footage was looking for the lighting, so got some advice from the family, and my mother said, put the lights up higher, it's probably reflections. So we got these LED lights on some microphone boom arms. Will this work? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, here we go. We're inside the HD camera app thing, and we're just gonna see if the lights are making it better, worse, or okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's not horrible either. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the inbuilt-in camera app, and we'll just check that one out too real quick. And this is what the camera looks like built into the LG G8, and it looks incredibly dark to me, so this is exactly why I do not use it. And unfortunately, it doesn't have any exposure controls, or does it? Yeah, it does. So if we do this, this is the brightest that the camera app will go. I mean, this could work too. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's one of those things where I think it's a little subjective. But I'm going to have to take a look at the footage and let me know what you guys think. And here we go. HD camera app, old lights. LG G8 built-in camera app, old lights. And here's the HD camera app with the new lights. Looks like there's some distortion also. Some bands. Might have to replace the mat. Here's the LG G camera app with the new lights. So, I guess that'll do it. Hopefully I can start making some more videos. I've had to clean and readjust and rearrange and all sorts of stuff. So, I am in the process. I am in the mood. I just have to get into production mode. So, thank you guys for watching and God bless.